All right, starting it off with my good friend Joth Ricci, CEO of LYBL. What does that stand for?
Live your best life.
There you go.
Yeah.
And you're doing that.
I'm trying.
I think this month marks the exact 11 years that we first met on a team for Wild Canyon Games on the old Rajneeshi compound, Washington Family Ranch. That was awesome bonding experience. And a lot of things over the last 11 years. I think the thread we were talking about coffee right before this is this notion. So there's a whole progression of things you were running Stumptown Coffee, and then got pulled into Adelsheim, and then you got tapped to to run Dutch Bros and then take it public. And then a lot of people could go off into the sunset, but you've been super activated to give back. And this is gonna be more of a we believe in Oregon video than we believe in Portland, because you're doing things throughout the state. But if you can weave the thread of some of the areas that you're most passionate about giving back into and some specifics, that would be awesome.
Well, I think that what's been fun about this stage of life, I've got to do a lot of great things on the business side, and now really it's about how can I give back, and really it's in three areas. One is around leadership, two is around community, and then three is probably around culture. And and having run companies now that have been based all over the state, like with Dutch Bros, or we're very embedded into the central east side of Portland, or working with Ninkasi in Eugene, or anywhere like that. I have a good feel for what's happening all around the state. I own a couple businesses that are at different places now, and so really this is about what can I do now at this stage of my career to help in really those three areas.
Okay, so let's start with area number one, leadership. You started a leadership academy with Oregon State. You're so why you went to Oregon State, you're all in on Oregon State, and what is this leadership academy? How does it work? Can people apply? How does it work?
So it's an application process that we created, and I think the insight was that we're producing very technically skilled students, and I think that probably never before in our history with students coming out of universities do we have more qualified, skilled people at what they do. What I found as an employer over the years, especially an employer at Dutch who hired a lot of young people, that really what we were missing was leadership and people. Which happens to be the core tenet of running good business, especially in hospitality business. We need that.
But leadership's so broad. So how do you, what's the framework of the Leadership Academy?
Introducing real world experience. So we introduce different leaders to the students. We give them an opportunity to have a great exchange with them and understand things that they do in real world, real life things that they work through. And then we have that summarized in a core project. And this year we actually did it around economic development in the state. And were students aware of the economy that they were going into from a workforce standpoint? It was really interesting to hear what the students got out of that and what they learned and how they might think about leading awareness for students as they go into the workforce and what they're walking into.
Okay, so you also, I think a lot of people have seen your name pop up on headlines in the Business Journal of the Burgerville thing. You've got some partnership in all these iconic Oregon brands that you're getting involved in and weaving together. You've got a partial ownership in a whitewater rafting company. So the vision I have is go on, take a bunch of buddies on a rafting trip down the Rogue River or what have you, and you've got your Winderlea vineyards, your Ninkasi, someone's gonna run in some Burgerville and fries,
awesome,
burgers,
right?
and a perfect milkshake and all that stuff. What is the what is are you just going to keep going and with like having ownership in like 20 Oregon brands? What's going to happen?
I think that we've been on a pretty good run here. I think we're now kind of settled into a portfolio. Food and beverage has been very, very good to me over the last 25 years. It's actually done well for my family. It's done well for everything we've done, and I think that this is our chance to actually get back into the community. One is that I love the outdoors. I live in Oregon for the outdoors, so having the opportunity to be part of Whitewater Rafting and Adventure Company that supports great adventure and experiences in Oregon is that's awesome.
Yeah.
To be involved in the beer business, the wine business, the food business, and be able to help in iconic businesses and do work in the agriculture, college at Oregon State and things like that all it helps me give back to the thing that's given me and my family a lot over the years.
That's cool. What was it? So food forward, you were telling me about, is kind of a newer thing. I think people would be interested to know more about that. You guys just had a big event. Was it last?
Yeah, we
night?
had an event last night at Ox.
Okay.
Big event. And Food Forward is about it's the recognition that Oregon competes on the global stage with some of the best food, beverage, and culinary regions in the world. And we are part of that conversation. And I think it's really acknowledging that. Mike Thielen's come in and really taken the lead on that for us, and building something where we need to understand that as Oregonians is that we actually sit in one of the best places in the world, and we should never apologize for that.
Yeah.
And two is we want to bring more people to the state. We want to bring more businesses to the state. We want to bring more tourism to the state to really realize this amazing ecosystem from the Pacific Ocean to the pastures of Eastern Oregon, and what we do really to have an amazing food and culinary culture here, but also we can help feed the world. And I think that by not apologizing for that and actually putting that on a pedestal to say this is one of the things that we own, let's take ownership over that and be great at it.
It's awesome. So number one is in industry-wise is tech, and then food and bev is number two in the state.
Food and beverage as a collective, when you take culinary, it's the number two economic driver for the state. It's one of the top employers of the state. But the thing about it is it's made up of thousands of very small businesses. And so when you take a restaurant in Grants Pass and you combine it with a small winery in Roseburg, and then you put it with a bigger business like A to Z, now we actually start to have a collective group of people that bring a lot of leverage and really organized infrastructure to something where we can really kind of take the power of all of that and do something really big with it.
Cool. All right, last thing. I didn't prep you for this. Not that this is prepped at all for nothing. Yeah, exactly. Your vision 5 to 10 years out for Oregon as a whole, like literally paint a picture for us. What can we be?
Well, I think Oregon needs to be the best. Oregon needs to have an ownable position. And I think our ownable position is that we should be the best place for young people to have a job and raise a family of anywhere in the country. And I think that we should create that as our strategy, and we should build the things that we do around that and hold ourselves accountable to do that for those people. And if we do that, we will build a system in the next 10 years. We will build something that in 2050 that the legacy will be created of the things that we had a vision for. And I think it starts with that, and then I think you can build your model out from that, but you need to start with something to say, what's our ownable position?
All right, young families, like this is a magnet for them, and not a magnet where young people go to retire.
Not a magnet where young people go to retire, and not a magnet for where young people come to go to school and they leave. We have an amazing place. We have an amazing geography here. This is one of the best places I think to live in the world. And we should create a place where young people can know that their children can have great childcare, have great education, where we have great jobs for them, not retire, but actually have great jobs for them to build on. And then ultimately their parents want to come and they want to retire here and be part of a family ecosystem. And if you start with that and you really own that, then you have something that you can really build all of your systems off of, and hold yourself accountable to that premise.
I love it. Mic drop.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
good to
Yeah.
see you.
Cheers.
Thank you.